This is KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story: Salt Lake City police have arrested a man suspected of being involved in a Sugar House murder. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Officers took 36-year-old Nathaniel Stockton into custody after some surveillance footage captured his car in the area of 2100 South Lincoln Street, around Steve Callis's RV. Police say Callis was discovered dead at his RV on Sunday. Family members telling KSL there were bullet holes all over it. Investigators say guns consistent with those bullets found on scene also match the guns found on Stockton's person. A Molotov cocktail was also found shattered on the street just outside of the driver's side of the RV. Stockton was booked on suspicion of 14 charges, including aggravated murder and attempted arson. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour: Congress is preparing to leave for their holiday recess as millions of Americans worry about the cost of their health care premiums skyrocketing.
GOP leaders overnight passing their own alternative health care plan that focuses on lowering overall health care costs, sending it over to the Senate, but it doesn't address those expiring subsidies. Now that a vote has been forced on this issue, it will come up, but likely not until the new year. After these tax credits expire, lawmakers are leaving for the holidays today. The House canceling votes that were planned for tomorrow. They're going to leave for their holiday break a day early.
That's ABC News correspondent Jay O'Brien reporting. Your money at this moment: the Dow's up 412 right now. That's almost 0.9%. We're at 48,295. Coming up, warm temperatures continue. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02. Reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Hi, friends. Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. In celebration of over 32 years of serving humans in Utah with their computer and tech needs, we've slashed our prices. And these are the new 2025 models. Here's the deal. You can get our new 2025 S1 desktop with a blazing Ryzen 5 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing fast storage on this promotion. We also have our new 2025 SM3 laptop with the Intel i5 processor, 16 gigs, and over a terabyte of storage for $999. You can take one home today for $999. And you also get the peace of mind of our lifetime service warranty. We also have 12 months special financing available, and they start as low as $29 a month. But hurry in, because supplies are limited. Because at PC Laptops, we love you. PCLaptops.com. Take home a blazing fast 2025 model desktop or laptop for $999 at PCLaptops.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of love that lasts a lifetime with Duke's Jewelers. For over 75 years, the Dukes family has been part of Utah Valley's story, helping yours celebrate life's most cherished moments since 1948. Dukes is more than a jewelry store. They're craftsmen, creating timeless pieces and custom designs that capture the magic of the holidays. Whether it's a sparkling necklace, a custom ring, or restoring a family heirloom, Duke's Jewelers pours their heart into every gift, because jewelry isn't just about sparkle, it's about love and legacy. This Christmas, make your loved one feel like part of the Dukes family. Find the perfect gift at Duke's Jewelers, located at 220 South Main in Springville, or shop online at dukesjewelers.com. Duke's Jewelers, celebrating love and tradition since 1948.
Picture this, you're on a date, and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual-action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Z-E-L-M-I-N-S, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And Amanda, we finally got a good look at this accident southbound I-15. It's about 86th south is where we're going to put it. It is indeed affecting the left lane. In fact, the HOV lane is what it is. The HOV lane and the left lane are blocked at this point. And so you're going to have to go down to just 3 lanes over on the right. And that has the delays that are stretched all the way back past the south interchange. About 53rd south is where it is right now. So there's some pretty heavy delays through there. Northbound side of I-15, just a little bit crowded as you approach downtown Salt Lake City. We still do have the accident northbound on the west side belt at the 201. It has delays in that area at about 3100 south. Actually, not even quite that. They only stretch back to about 27th now, so things are starting to clear out. But that right lane does remain blocked. If you're eastbound on the 201, still very heavy, stretching back to about 7200 west. And we're seeing some thick traffic northbound on Bangerter Highway, approaching California Avenue. Christmas is almost here. There's still plenty of time to enjoy holiday shopping, mountain magic, and mountaintop savings that shine brighter than the snow at Junction Commons in Park City. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly sunny today with a small chance of showers, some light winds, and highs around 50. Right now it's 33 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Little bit of a special opening for our show today. It is my co-host Holly's birthday today, so happy birthday, Holly.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us today. You could have taken the day off, but you're here working.
No, it's totally fine. But look, I have to tell you, I'm a Christmas baby, so it's exactly 1 week before Christmas, and my parents were really, really in the mood when they named me. My middle name is Joy, and my maiden name was Tree, so I was Holly Tree until I got married.
Holly Joy Tree.
Holly Joy Tree.
Wonderful. Hey, well, this also falls on the heels of Trump's sort of much anticipated speech last night. I was a little surprised that it was as short as it was.
I know.
I think someone said it was 18 minutes.
Oh, I thought I read 25, but it fit within a half an hour segment, so there you go.
Largely read as opposed to off the cuff, which is why it was so short, and maybe sort of kept to a script for whatever reason, and kept to it pretty closely. But he touted what he'd done with the border. He touted what he had done with curbing inflation, and the numbers actually came out yesterday that seemed to support that inflation numbers were down a little bit.
A little.
He touted that he'd settled 8 wars. I think there's a lot of dispute about that. Brought down, he claims, gas and grocery prices. I think there's a fair amount of dispute about that. And announced, and we will talk about this, what he calls the warrior dividend. Which
I thought it was interesting and kind of clever. $1,776, $1,776 for 1.45 million members of the military to be distributed before Christmas, which, as I mentioned, is in 1 week from today.
And claiming that all of that is the result of money that was brought in from his tariffs. So, interesting. I don't know. One thing about it that I will just say, I guess I'm going to be critical, is that we're now a year just within a few weeks of the Trump administration. So it's time to quit saying this is Biden's problem. You know what I mean? If you've had a year to get the economy going, you've had the one big beautiful bill passed, which was everything you wanted.
Yeah.
You've got both House and Senate on your side. You've got the Supreme Court giving you everything you want. So it would seem that if the economy is either clicking or it's not. And I think we saw a Reuters poll today that found that only 33% of Americans approve of his handling of the economy right now.
It's interesting, and I understand what you're saying. Like, how long does it take before it becomes your fault and not somebody else's? I don't know. When we've lived in our same house for 22 years now, but when we moved, I have a daughter. We had moved every 3 or 4 years for several years before that. And I had a daughter that every time we moved, her favorite house was the one she just left. right?
Yeah.
And she didn't like it while she lived there, but it was her favorite when we left. So I don't know. Maybe this will continue until President Trump is out of office. But, speaking of being out of office, I saw today the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post both had a thing saying that President Trump may actually be eligible to run for office in 2028. The Constitution wasn't clear. And I'm like, oh, well, I thought it was pretty clear.
No.
I thought it was pretty clear, but I am telling you that it was his attorney, Alan Dershowitz, who said the constitutionality of a third term, it's not really clear. So there are ways around it, is what he's claiming. So who knows? That's
I think he's got other reasons why he wouldn't run, not the least of which I think he's going to start having some failing health. He's getting up there a little bit. And
well, he's older than I am. I'll say that. At
right.
least.
And he's not popular right now. I mean, let's face it. He has an approval rating that is probably among the lowest we've ever seen with a president.
Yeah, it's interesting, and there's another interesting story that came out yesterday as well. This one, for me, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. It's like, I don't understand why you would even do this as the president of the United States. But he had some presidential plaques put up down this presidential walk of fame. I don't even know if that's officially the word, but basically it's pictures of all the presidents, and then there's a plaque underneath. Like if you go to a museum, you see a plaque, and it's metal, and it's printed, and it's not a piece of paper, stuck on a wall. And these plaques are a little pointed in their critiques of previous presidents. In fact, one of the things that he did is put up a picture of an auto pen instead of putting up a picture of President Joe Biden.
That's what that is. I didn't see the underscore as to what the plaques actually were. I just saw this thing over Biden where I would have expected Biden's face, and I was wondering what that was. It's the auto pen.
It's an auto pen. Okay, it's the Presidential Walk of Fame. He offers descriptions of his predecessors. This is President Trump, and his I think Caroline Leavitt yesterday said he wrote a lot of the language that is on the plaques or underneath the plaques. And, I'm just saying at some point you got to say, where is the decorum here? Because this is what it says under Joe Biden's plaque, the auto pen. Sleepy Joe Biden was by far the worst president in American history, taking office as a result of the most corrupt election ever seen in the United States. Biden oversaw a series of unprecedented disasters that brought our nation to the brink of destruction. And then it just keeps going. I'm like, this is what you would have like in a museum. Here's a picture, here's a descriptor, and yet this is the type of language we have underneath it. He did like Ronald Reagan, though, and said Ronald Reagan liked him when he was a young Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, it's the kind of sort of mocking and bullying, I guess, that you'd expect at a junior high or high school yearbook, you know what I mean? Plaque. It just, I don't know what he put on Obama, but he's got some
it was not kind also.
serious Obama envy, and he's never going to get over that. And I mean, let's move on. Trump, it's not Biden's economy anymore. And it wasn't like we were the worst nation a year ago, and now we're the best nation.
Right.
Economy.
I know.
It's not significantly different. If anything, I think you have to admit that the economy is slightly worse than it was when Trump took office.
I think one of the things is it's more uncertain, right? And that's what we heard this morning. There are better inflation numbers. It was 2.7% instead of the 3% that it had kind of been stuck on. But we on the morning news, they had Robert Spendlove, and he was saying, look, it's the uncertainty that really is playing havoc with the economy right now. So anyway, he addressed the nation last night, touted his 2025 accomplishments, promised $1,776 to military servicemen, and ended on time.
Yeah, well within time, which is unusual because if you remember when he spoke to the United Nations, it was a long speech.
I think an hour and a half.
Right.
Okay, look, we've been talking about affordability, and during the shutdown, we talked a lot about SNAP benefits, but now there are concerns being raised about some of the new changes to the program and how that's going to impact Utahns, and we're going to learn more about that after the break.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You know, most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join, because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy. So we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
and expanded Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
Well, Utah families are starting to see some of the effects of the One Big Beautiful Bill, which Congress passed not long ago. It's gone into effect, and one of the changes from the One Big Beautiful Bill, Holly, we talked about this before, when it was being enacted, was what would happen with respect to SNAP benefits for people of Utah. Actually, it affects everyone around the country, but Utahns are certainly affected by that as well, because there are work requirements, there are other changes to that, and other changes with respect to low-income Utahns that are the product of this One Big Beautiful Bill.
And, there also are additional changes that the federal government has been teasing. So U.S. Agriculture Secretary Burke Rollins said maybe all participants were going to have to reapply, right? So then you have to go through the whole thing again. So what's really, again, we talked about uncertainty, right? We talked about uncertainty with the economy, but it's also things are uncertain with SNAP. So SNAP was one of the things where benefits were held until the government reopened. And I think it was the November payments, right? Anyway, it was something where we had this big surge going to food banks. And we have with us on the line Gina Cornea with Utahns Against Hunger. Gina, can you remind me, are you executive director?
I am.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And Gina, I've known you working in this space for a long time, and I know that you are really passionate about this issue. And so I'm wondering if you can share with our listeners, what are the concerns that you are seeing and hearing?
I was talking to someone about this last night, and honestly, it's just as much about the chaos that it has caused and the uncertainty. When they were debating H.R. 1, the OB3, and they were talking about cuts to SNAP and just, it was relentless. And so now, July 4th, the bill was signed, and it's going to impact a lot of Utahns. One, the bill made refugees ineligible for SNAP if they have refugee status, and that's over 3,000 Utahns who will now lose access to those benefits. Additionally, they're expanding work requirements. SNAP has always had work requirements, and this expands the work requirements from age 55 to 64. Well, that seems reasonable. I'm 62. I'm not quitting my job anytime soon. But many of those folks have a lot of barriers to employment. They, lack transportation. Maybe they can't drive anymore. Maybe they live in a rural community where there really aren't jobs. And so it just, it's created a lot of uncertainty sort of in the name of, fraud, waste, and abuse, when in fact the most fraud that happens is, people's benefits being stolen by criminal enterprises. That skimming and cloning where people's benefits are just scooped out of their account. So I think going into this next session, we're really concerned. We have to have $13 million in additional funding for administrative costs. They pushed those additional costs onto the states. And we know it's going to be a rough session. Governor Cox announced that there's, $500 million less to spend because of the Trump tax cuts. And the people who are going to suffer and the people who are, who have the most to lose are low-income people who depend on, housing and food and health care. And at least in SNAP, the majority of people who access those programs are seniors over the age of 60s, children under the age of 18, and people with disabilities. And so I think it's going to be a really rough time. And, pantries have already said they cannot fill the gap. They're feeling more pressure than ever. And even though Utahns are incredibly generous, and the food banks across the state do amazing work, that is not enough to replace benefits that people get from federal nutrition programs.
Gina, what are you feeling in terms of the state's ability, and maybe ability is not the right word, their eagerness to fill the gap that you're talking about, this $13 million? Do you feel like that's something?
That is a very, very good question. We really need to make the case that, these programs literally save lives. And, SNAP brings in $400 million every year in terms of SNAP benefits. So, not obviously that would impact individual households, but it would also impact the economy. There might be rural grocery stores that may need to close because they lose that that revenue. And so, it's really dicey. I know, obviously, the Department of Workforce Services is working on this. The governor has obviously recommended it in his budget. But, $13 million is a big ticket item, and it's a new ongoing expense that we've never had before.
Yeah, Gina, I'm wondering, with that much, you called it chaos and uncertainty, do you think that people will just drop out of the program rather than try and figure it all out?
Oh, I think that there definitely will be people who do that. There were classes of immigrants who were made ineligible and, 5-year waiting periods, just, sort of this litany of requirements. And I think it's exhausting. People are trying to go to work. They're trying to raise their families. And now they have this added layer of bureaucracy. And I think that will be especially true for seniors. When they were debating H.R. 1, they talked about how imposing work regulations would decrease the caseload, and that's not because people don't want to work. It is the bureaucratic barriers that are put in place to comply with that make it difficult. So, I know Workforce Services is really working hard to make sure that they're screening people for exemptions and can make it easier for people to stay on. But, I think that it becomes, especially if you're a senior and you're getting a minimal amount of money, if you get the minimum of 23, working 80 hours, like either volunteer or paid, obviously, you would, it wouldn't be worth it. So I just, I think that, and that, like we saw in the first Trump administration when there was a lot of, new guidance around immigrants and how they're eligible for programs. It's intentional creating a atmosphere of fear and uncertainty, and people would just rather try and figure it out than jump through a bunch of hoops. And we would really encourage our legislators and our state administrators to streamline this as much as possible so we don't lose folks. 1 in 10 Utah households experience food insecurity, and that's too many.
Yeah.
We are a generous and innovative state, and this is something that's easily, we can figure it out.
Gina, I have a question about what Utahns can do. Look, the name of your organization is Utahns Against Hunger. I think all Utahns agree with that. Nobody wants people to go hungry. So what can we do to help people within our state, whether they're SNAP recipients or not? What can we do?
Well, really support your local food pantry. That little church down the street, that community action agency, they are going to feel so much pressure over the holidays and going into the new year. During the government shutdown, use at pantries surged 36%. And that was only like halfway through November. I think people were really in a panic. They have to pay their rent. They have to buy food. So support your local food pantry. The Utah Food Bank does amazing work. And they work with those local pantries that also need your support. And they need your cash. They need food. But if they get, a financial donation, they have a lot more flexibility to spend that money where they know it's needed.
Thanks, Gina. That was Gina Cornea from Utahns Against Hunger. And, Holly, we are going to see these cuts close to home more and more as we get toward the end of the year. Some of them have actually kicked in as recently as November. So, whether the state can step up to the plate or whether the federal government's going to realize that maybe they took too much
I think we already know that the state has said they can't step up and fill the gap. Yeah. And they're looking at budget shortfall anyway.
Yeah, wow. A lot of people affected by that. We started the week talking about the tragic killing of Rob Reiner and his wife. Now his son is in police custody, is suspected of killing his parents, and actually has been charged with their homicide. In general, the very thought of your own children violently committing murder is beyond comprehension. But as it turns out, patricide, which is the crime of killing your parents, happens approximately once a day in the United States. I'm surprised. We'll talk about that when we come back.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story, our warm weather continues to break records, and temperatures are not expected to cool down much leading into Christmas. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson says we hit 67 degrees in Salt Lake City yesterday.
That puts us in the number 2 spot for the second warmest temperature ever recorded within the month of December.
That temperature is as warm as forecast highs in St. George, Dallas, and San Diego this week. Forecasters say if this keeps up, we could have our warmest December ever. Temperatures are expected to cool down to the upper 40s today, but that's still well above normal. Our top national story this hour, responding to a lawsuit from victims' relatives, the U.S. government is accepting blame in the deadly midair crash over the Potomac River last January. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio.
It was a disaster that raised new safety concerns in the sky. An Army helicopter colliding with that American Airlines jet over the Potomac River in the crowded Washington, D.C. airspace, killing 67 people.
I have no viable survivors at this point.
Now, nearly a year later, the government is officially accepting blame, calling the deaths tragic. In a new court filing, Justice Department lawyers writing, quote, "The United States admits that it owed a duty of care to plaintiffs, which it breached." The plaintiffs include victims' families who've sued.
It comes out as the Senate passed the annual defense bill, which includes a provision allowing military helicopters to fly without broadcasting their location. The head of the NTSB fiercely criticized that provision. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 427 this morning, 0.9%. We're at 48,313. More warm weather this week. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you want to walk, play pickleball, and enjoy other fun activities to stay healthy, but you can't because of bad feet? Hi, this is Mike, and the Good Feet store wants to help.
I just had difficulty walking. I tried them on in the store, and my foot felt so much better.
Do you keep buying new shoes and inserts with little or no relief?
I tried all kinds of shoes. It was the arch supports that made the difference from the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet, knees, or back problems get in the way of staying healthy and having fun.
Thanks to the Good Feet store, I bowl in 3 nights a week.
Get back to doing what you love. At the Good Feet store, we'll personally fit you at high-quality arch supports to maximize your comfort. Stop in the Good Feet store or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
The older I get, the more I come to fear holiday gifts. I don't need any more socks, coffee mugs, body wash that smells like who knows what. But last year, my kids got me the perfect gift. Omaha Steaks. The bacon-wrapped filet mignons were juicy and it paired perfectly with the split lobster tail skewers. I topped the Omaha Steaks burgers with their apple-smoked bacon. Best burger I've had all year. I've been hinting for the last 3 months that I want Omaha Steaks again this year. Fingers crossed. But right now, listeners get an extra $35 off their order with promo code SKY at checkout. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Right now is the perfect time to save on delicious gifts and holiday hosting favorites. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com, and for an extra $35 off, use promo code SKY at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code SKY.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. The other night with my wife, Dee, we saw Frozen at Hale Center Theater, and it was delightful. I have a little confession. You know the song, Let It Go? My little granddaughters sing that so much that I'm afraid I haven't fully appreciated it until I saw it performed at Hale Center Theater. The artistry of the presentation and the staging brought that song to life for me. I have become a true believer. And the puppetry at Hale Center Theater, when they bring Sven out and when they have Olaf, you are going to love it. And don't forget, they have special presentations of Frozen where you can bring the younger kids. We've already got that booked for our family. It's Frozen on the stage right now at Hale Center Theater. And of course, you've got to make sure you get your tickets for A Christmas Carol. It always sells out. And by the way, Frozen is selling out very, very fast. Go to hct.org and lock down those tickets. Get season tickets for the holidays and so much more. hct.org.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And Amanda, things looking so much better than they were just about an hour ago. Southbound I-15, they have reopened all lanes now at 86 South. The accident's still there, but it's off to the left shoulder now. So should be having those delays clear out here, hopefully in the next little bit. Anyway, they pick up still just before you get to the South interchange and last down to about 86th South there. Otherwise, though, northbound I-15 is all cleared out and no problems there. They have reopened the lane now, the right lane northbound on the west side belt at the 201. So all lanes of traffic open there. Traffic has thinned out in that direction, and they reopened that ramp from eastbound 201 to go northbound onto the 215. So all of the delays that we had on the 201 are also cleared out. And so really the only thing that we've got left over is just those delays southbound on I-15, even down in Utah County on 2100 North and Pioneer Crossing. Those are looking pretty good at this point. Santa is at Jordan Landing Shopping Center. Visit him on weekends and every day Christmas week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Digital photos are just $25. Reserve your spot at jordanlanding.com and make the season merry and bright. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly sunny today with a small chance of showers and light winds. It won't be as warm as yesterday, but still unseasonably warm with a high near 50. Right now it's 33 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Earlier this week, we learned of the really tragic and horrible death of actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer. They were found dead in their home, and the story, Holly, just continues to get worse.
It's so horrible.
Yeah, their son Nick Reiner was taken into custody soon after their bodies were discovered. He made his very first court appearance yesterday. He's charged with the murder of both of his parents. And we learned that another child of theirs, their youngest daughter Romy, actually discovered their bodies. Now the children of Rob Reiner have spoken out for the first time since their brother was arrested in the killing of their parents. Here's ABC's Trevor Alt.
Two other children of the Reiners, Jake and Romy, they issued a joint statement. They said, and I'm quoting here, "Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day."
I mean, and from every level. I mean, your brother and your parents, you've kind of lost them both forever now.
Yeah, it's really awful. And, I have to wonder, especially with Romy, who discovered their bodies like that. I don't know that she will ever get that image out of her head for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
We have with us on the line ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett. Thanks for joining us this morning, Brad.
You're welcome.
Look, I'm a parent, and the thought of, or even fear maybe of a child who would kill me, that's really beyond terrifying. And I'm wondering if you could tell us, how often is it that kids kill their parents?
So if you look at the homicide rate for a year in this country, 1 to 2% are where kids kill their parents. Now, you would think that's not a big number, and it's relatively not, but you're really talking about a case a day. So someplace in this country, almost every day, the parents, either a single parent or both parents, are killed by either their young or adult children.
Wow.
Brad, is there a phenomena or some understanding as to why this occurs? Are they parents who are abusive? Are they kids who have mental health issues? Sort of both?
So if you look at different social psychologists have sort of broken it down, but generally they say the same thing. Of the the most cases are around what you just mentioned, which is severe abuse, physical, psychological, sexual abuse, that at some point a child can't take it any longer and they'll lash out. And many times, if they're younger, pick up firearms and just shoot both their parents. When you get into other types of cases, there's a one category that's called severe antisocial personalities. And I will tell you, working with drug-addicted folks for 10 years as a probation and parole officer in the federal system, I used to see this daily between the manipulation and control and sort of nothing really matters other than getting your next fix and what impact that has on families. I mean, knowing what I know, thinking about what Rob and Michelle have gone through, basically since their son was 14, 15. I mean, they've stated openly, and so is actually Nick, talked about his addiction issues. And I think by the time he was 14, he had been in a number of rehab programs. So that's half his life because he's 32 now. And you also have to think about the overall damage to his psyche, to his mental health, to, even chemically, by using drugs regularly that many years, it changes you. It destroys things. It distorts things. It, causes problems like impulse control, and aggression, depression. All these things play into how you end up harming your parents. And it's not just the things I mentioned, but it's sort of this combination. I mean, you think now Nick is 32. He doesn't have a job. He's not educated. He lives with his parents. He has, I guess, not the ability or desire, I don't know what the answer is, to support himself. And the amount of hostility and rage, which ultimately gets focused on the parents, I think is what happened. Assuming Nick is the correct person who killed his parents, then you're talking about a level of rage that would just be off the charts. Because it's one thing, and horrible enough, to shoot your parents. It's another to stab them to death multiple times. I mean, it's a highly personal, rage-driven crime that make this, if you can make this more heinous, that certainly does it.
Wow. That's really disturbing. Look, I wonder if you have experience with a broader look of how crimes like this impact the psyche of people that maybe are not directly connected, but we had a whole weekend of really tragic events. And I think sometimes we feel like the news is just so heavy, but can people who read these stories, what can we do to stay mentally well, but also engaged?
I think one thing, if you are a person that all of this just seems to be overwhelming, makes you feel fearful, maybe because of anxiety, depression, issues maybe with sleeping, you have to think about maybe stepping away from so much social media coverage of these stories, because it can be overwhelming for people. You have to take care of yourself. And whatever that means, is that relaxation techniques? Is it having, conversations with maybe your college age kids, because you're concerned, based on what happened at Brown University, of your kids going back to school in January. I mean, you need to work through these things, but not get overburdened or overwhelmed with the number of stories, because, like you've already pointed out, this has been a violent week.
Yeah, it's just been awful. We've only got about a minute left. You talked about this, and I wanted to follow up on something, Brad. The manner of death, the stabbing, as opposed to a shooting you, which is something you could do at a distance, and maybe even the timing of this, just a week before Christmas and in their home. This shows a significant amount, if in fact Nick is the killer, of internal rage that he had to do something so horrific in the manner and the timing that he did it. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but also think about how, as I mentioned earlier, how this has probably been building up in him. And there's going to be, because there always is, some precipitating event. It's not something that would set off the rest of us, but if you were in Nick's state, could well set him off. I mean, there has been discussions in the media and interviews with people about a party, I think Saturday night at Conan O'Brien's house, where supposedly Nick was saying inappropriate things, and so they asked him to leave. I'm not saying that had anything to do with this. I'm only throwing that out as that something took him to the point that he was so mad and so angry that he did what he did, allegedly, to his parents.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. That was ABC News crime and terrorism analyst Brad Garrett. And, you know, I am happy to tell you we are going to shift to a happier story. We're going to head over to a local Salt Lake City bakery who set up a giving tree inside the bakery to support abused, neglected, and at-risk kids and young adults. We're going to talk with Ruby Snap Cookies after the break.
Are you within 3 years of filing for Social Security? You've heard about delaying your benefits to get a bigger benefits check, right? But guess what? That could be a huge mistake. When you consider your taxes, Medicare premiums, and other benefits, you could potentially get more income by filing early. Find out the precise timing that could get you the most money possible with a free, customized Social Security analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't leave one dime on the table that's rightfully yours. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
You know, winter is here, and a lot of kids here in Utah don't have the warm coats and shoes that they need to get them through the upcoming cold months.
KSL's Quarters for Christmas has been helping local children for years, turning your donations into warm coats and shoes for kids right here in our own community.
And you should feel comfortable that every dollar you give goes directly toward providing coats and shoes for kids who need them most. It's easy to make a difference. Just go online to kslquarters.com, donate whatever you can, and know that you're helping keep a child warm this winter.
Please join us in spreading a little comfort and a whole lot of kindness with KSL's Quarters for Christmas.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio. Or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
The holiday season is here, and it is in full force, and it's time for you and your entire family to get into NPS, where everything, every day, is 20 to 70% off. But the great thing is, shopping is truly an adventure at NPS because they'll have additional savings on top of the 20 to 70% off. It's a chance for you to really stretch those Christmas dollars at any of the 4 NPS stores. And at this time of year, it's so important for you to know that they've got it all. They've got toys for the kids. They've got art supplies, the holiday decor, everything you need for your holiday meals. It's waiting for you at NPS. There are 4 stores, 2 in Salt Lake on Empire, the traditional store, and then the more industrial store across the street. There's one in Orem, and there's one in Layton. NPS, a nice place to save.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic. plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals. And it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Winters along the Wasatch Front get cold. But imagine if your furnace isn't working. It may be hard to imagine, but the reality is there are families that could go this winter without heat. Join KSL News Radio and Gillette Heating and Cooling and give the gift of heat to deserving families with a Carrier furnace. If you know a family in need, please nominate them today at kslnewsradio.com. They could get a new energy-efficient furnace to provide warmth and comfort for many winters to come. Your house is your home, and with Gillette Heating and Cooling, we can make it a place where love isn't the only thing that warms your heart. Make your nomination today at kslnewsradio.com and give the gift of heat with Gillette Heating and Cooling at GilletteHVAC.com, a Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts. Make your nomination at kslnewsradio.com.
Inside Sources.
Sometimes, Holly, even the smallest of things, like stopping for a cookie, can spark something much bigger. And One Salt Lake Bakery is proving that sweetness goes beyond the treats, turning holiday cheer into real help for kids who need it most.
And look, this is an unsolicited plug, but I've had Ruby Snap cookies, and they are amazing. And they're asking the community to help Salt Lake County Youth Services. So we have with us on the line Tammy Stagel, the owner and founder of Ruby Snap Bakery. Thanks for joining us today.
Happy to do it. Thank you.
I'm wondering if you can just tell our listeners, what are you doing with your giving tree?
The giving tree, it provides gift tags that are hung on a tree, and then community members who come to the bakery, they can pick a gift tag from the tree and buy specific items like toys or hygiene for a child or a senior that is listed on that tag, and then they return the unwrapped gift to our bakery and before the deadline so that locals who are in need can get gifts for Christmas.
Tammy, can you tell our listeners where your bakery is?
Yes, we're located at 770 South, 300 West in Salt Lake City.
And what is the deadline?
Honestly, I'm sorry, I don't have that answer.
Okay. No, it's okay. I just know Christmas is a week away, so sometime in the next week for sure.
Yes. We have a big box in the bakery, and you can just grab a tag and put your gift there, and then the giving tree comes and picks those up, and then they deliver them to where they need to go.
Can you tell us?
We would love it if you could come and support the local community.
So you are saying that these gifts are going to help Salt Lake County Youth Services. I think you also mentioned seniors. Who is receiving help from Salt Lake County Youth Services? What's the population there?
Well, we have, a pretty large population in need in Salt Lake City, and so we are able to give in other ways as well. At the end of the day, we give all of our surplus cookies to the local community, and it allows them an opportunity maybe to sell the the surplus cookies for income for needs that they have, like places like the Boys and Girls Club, the Other Side Academy, Odyssey House, and things like that. So, there are many, many places where we can provide help throughout the community.
Tammy, what got you into this? What made you think that this was, because it's such a beautiful thing to do, and you've been doing it even before this giving tree came, when you were donating some of your surplus cookies. What got you to doing all this?
When we started the bakery 18 years ago, our motto is we sell today's cookie today. We bake fresh cookies and sell fresh cookies only, not today's cookie tomorrow. And so we immediately realized there's going to be a surplus. And rather than allowing things to land in the dumpster, we started pairing with like the food bank and Shriners Hospital and Ronald McDonald House and other places like that to give our end-of-day donations. And one of our requirements was that it had to be an entity in need that provided a real service. And one of my favorite places is the adult rehab, because we had been giving to them for many years, and one day they came and presented a little plaque saying that their recovery program had increased because people were showing up to get a Ruby Snap cookie, and so there were more and more adults becoming drug-free. And so you never think that those little things are going to help in that way, but there's just so many moments that have really touched our hearts in terms of, you'll get a child that spent a large portion of their life in the Shriners Hospital, and then they'll come in and they'll be like, I just look so forward to a cookie. Aww. And so just any way to brighten someone's day, it became a part of who we were. And so we adopted the phrase, giving is living. And that's what got us started, is just the desire not to waste, and how could we give back in the community.
Tammy, that's really amazing. I'm actually looking at an Instagram post from your store. Best way to be jolly, a plate full of holly. I like that. I'm Holly. Plus, I had to show Greg the pictures of the cookies because they're beautiful and amazing looking. So, and I know they taste as good as they look.
Tell us about your product.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What do you make there?
So we make unique flavor combinations from whole, fresh ingredients, and we make everything that we create. So, for example, we try to keep everything very clean, and we're really proud of that. So we don't have any artificial ingredients. For example, we have the Noel cookie right now. It's a sweet potato maple with milk chocolate and pecans.
Oh, wow.
And we slow roast the white Jersey yam to create the dough base for that cookie. And so everything we do, we prepare fresh in our kitchen. So if it's a lemon glaze, we squeeze fresh lemons and make fresh squeezed lemon glaze. And we just like to keep everything all natural.
That really is amazing. If people want to donate, is the only way to come into the store, or is there a donation option on the website or anything like that?
We don't have a donation option on the website, but we do encourage people to come in and just grab a card and help those in need this year. Like every year, we know there are people in our community who don't have sufficient basics. And so this is a way that you can give back in earnest and show your love during the holidays.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you. That was Tammy Stagel. She's the owner and founder of Ruby Snap Bakery. So I do have a couple of minutes to share another really fun holiday story. And this is a neighborhood in Bountiful that has an elf on the shelf that's almost life-size. Actually, it's larger than life-sized elf, and they have an elf relocation program. So somebody created this elf, right? And now they steal it from each other's porches and yards to put in their own yards. So the elf there's some rules. The elf has to be visible from the road, and the person who steals it the most wins a prize on New Year's Day. So Elf on the Shelf probably was after you were raising your kids, because I didn't do it when most of my kids were little. But now that we're raising our granddaughter, Jazzy, we started doing the Elf on the Shelf.
Which is?
It literally is a little elf. And then depending on how creative you are, the elf moves during the night. If the kids touch it, then like the elf is frozen, doesn't go back to Santa. Anyway, the elf is there to spy on you to see if you're being good. But
the elf mysteriously moves
every night.
Okay,
yeah. And so there's like really interesting things that can happen. So I'm not super creative. There's lots of stuff online that I've seen. And so I've done a few things like, cotton balls, let's have a snowball fight, or and she knows who the elf actually is. But I also have done a couple of things where it comes with like a little gift for her. So the other night there were some little figurines from the Peanuts, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Right.
And then we watched that movie together that night, right? So anyway, so there's this whole neighborhood up in Bountiful that has this life-size or nearly life-size elf that they steal from each other and then reposition.
Can't be too secretive about that one. You got to
well, you have to because it has to be
shoulder.
seen. Right, exactly. So I'm looking at pictures. This is a KSL TV story. There's pictures. There's like kids with their like ski mask over their face, but they have the elf on their back. They're putting it in front of a garage. They're taking selfies. Elfies with the elf on the shelf, putting it inside of kids' toys. It really is really cute. And what a way to bring neighborhood love and joy together.
Well, we have another interesting news, and I think it's good news, and that is that one school district in Utah is leading the way to fully trained school employees who volunteer as what they call school guardians in active shooter situations. The Emery County Sheriff will join us next. He'll join us and talk about how that program's going and how it's working in that particular school district. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. A short time ago, the man accused of taking a 13-year-old girl from her Ogden home and leaving the state just made his first court appearance.
Good morning. What is your name?
Christopher Thomas Wiggins.
Wiggins is being charged with one count of felony kidnapping. Police accused him of taking the girl to Colorado, which prompted an Amber Alert. He is also accused of sexually abusing the girl and shooting at the girl's mother during a confrontation. A 64-year-old woman has died after being hit by a car in Price last night. The police department says it happened just after 7 when she was crossing the street near 500 North, 300 East. The driver stayed on the scene and the investigation is ongoing. Our top national story this hour, today's consumer prices report shows inflation has started to slow.
We were expecting inflation to show that consumer prices rose 3.1% last month compared to the same time last year, but instead we saw consumer prices rose 2.7%. And if you strip out food and energy prices and you get to what they call the core inflation rate, it was actually 2.6%. So this report coming in a lot cooler than expected.
ABC News business reporter Alexis Christoforous reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 289. We're now at 48,175. Coming up, more unusually warm days ahead. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
You know, most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades, Andy. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you within 3 years of filing for Social Security? You've heard about delaying your benefits to get a bigger benefits check, right? But guess what? That could be a huge mistake. When you consider your taxes, Medicare premiums, and other benefits, you could potentially get more income by filing early. Find out the precise timing that could get you the most money possible with a free, customized Social Security analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't leave one dime on the table that's rightfully yours. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And Amanda, they have a car that had run into the wall southbound I-15 at 86 South up on the tow truck, and the tow truck is now pulling away. So it's mostly cleared out, now, although there are still some emergency vehicles on scene. It's got the left shoulder blocked. Nobody should be driving on the shoulder, so all the lanes are open. However, you are still seeing some delays that's going to stretch back about to the south interchange, maybe a little bit past the south interchange at this point as you're driving southbound on I-15. Northbound side of I-15 is all clear from Payson basically all the way up to downtown Salt Lake City, and from Ogden to Salt Lake City as well. No trouble there. The rest of your highways and side streets, they're also looking clear. It's time to try UTA. Less stress, no traffic, and more U time. Plan your trip at rideuta.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
We should get up to 49 degrees today and then get another small storm moving in tomorrow. Temperatures will jump tomorrow to 58, and we'll stay in the 50s through Christmas. Right now, it's 37 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, one Utah school district is leading the way to train fully trained school employees to volunteer as what they call school guardians, Holly, in active shooter situations. And this is something you'll have to help us that was set up by the legislature some time ago to provide these resources in the schools.
Right. So to be honest, and this is a really sad admission, I don't remember after what school shooting it was that spurred this on, because unfortunately we've had many. But in 2023, Ryan Wilcox, who's a representative, he wanted to do something where he felt like we could at least have, it was after Uvalde, that we could at least have somebody there on school premises who could basically take out a shooter.
Right.
And so they set up the school guardian program. It started this year, the 2025-2026 school year. And so every school in Utah is supposed to have these volunteer guardians, armed guards there right now. But I don't know that there's anybody who's done quite the training that Emery County has done. And I'm really, really impressed with what they've been doing down there. So we have with us Emery County Sheriff Tyson Huntington. Thanks for joining us, Sheriff.
You bet. I'm happy to do it.
Before we start into our questions, I have to tell you that Cheryl Worsley says to say hi.
Great. Say hi back.
Okay. So can you tell us, just explain to our listeners, kind of paint the picture, what it is that you're doing with these trainings?
So, like you said, the Guardian program is it's a school employee that volunteers to become a guardian. And how we started out is the state sent down to all of the sheriff's offices, to the county security chief, a curriculum of what the bare minimum is that we'll teach these guardians. And it covers everything from first aid to liability stuff, a lot of firearms and that kind of training. And so what we did is we started out with our guardians once a week. We did a 4-hour training session every week, and we'd start in our classroom, in our training room, and we just went through the chapters of the curriculum that the state sent down. And started doing that. And then about the third session, we would do 2 hours in the classroom and 2 hours at the gun range. So we'd split the class in half and half stay in the room, half go to the gun range. And we started just with our basic firearms training there. And we had brand new shooters. We had military veterans. We had seasoned hunters. We had all kinds. But they were all able to just push off any preconceived notion on what firearms was and shooting was. And we were able to start at ground zero with all of them and work together and get to the point to where they were passing the qualification that was required by the state. And then we went a little further and did some other firearms training that we do with our deputies a little bit. And then our last day of training officially for the first part of the Guardian stuff was a scenario day that we did at Emory High with, they're called simunition guns. They're a life-size, same weight handgun, but they shoot a serious paintball instead of a bullet. And we did that at Emory High with all the Guardians through some scenarios that the state had set up and that we'd had as well. And we put all the Guardians through the scenarios as well.
Sheriff, I have to say, I've taught at Post, the police academy, for over 30 years, and I've seen what they do there. You developed quite a curriculum, or somebody did for this. It seemed like there was a lot of training that you did, and it involved a lot of things, not just like you say, firearms, but some of it even dealt with de-escalation techniques and things like that, correct?
Yes, there's an entire section on the de-escalation, but I've got to say, when it comes to our school staff, the people that work at the schools, they're good at de-escalation. That's one thing that they shined above anything else, just based on, I think, their experience dealing with kids and problems in schools. The de-escalation part, we didn't have to do any remedial de-escalation training. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
When you did your scenario, I forgot what you called it, scenario training. When you did that simulation, how did that go over? I mean, I've done just the police academy of citizens. I was terrible and shot civilians. So, how did that go with your Guardians?
So, like you guys know, scenarios are kind of a different animal to be in, and Greg at Post probably saw that quite a bit. But we talked about it before. We explained what was going to happen here, and if there was ever a time to make mistakes, now's the time. So we set that training up that way. They got all the protective gear on. We gave them the bare minimum information to start, and they walked into the situation. And there was a lot of apprehension before these started. They were nervous. They weren't sure what to expect. And I think that's the reason scenarios are so effective, is because it's, something's going to happen. You're scared. You're nervous. You walk into it. You do the best you can. But the best part about the scenario is afterwards, when we're able to get together, we play the scenarios to the group of Guardians, and then we just go through each scenario and talk about the goods, the bads, things we can improve on, things that went really well, and the questions and the dialogue that came from talking about the scenarios was by far the most important thing. And what we'll do now with one of our next training days is we'll do the same scenarios again and let our Guardians go through them again with the changes that they've wanted to make, or the advice they've gotten, or the things that they've thought about, in the meantime. So,
Sheriff, when a administrator, or teacher, or employee gets through this and they're a school guardian, what does that allow? How are they treated, or how are they seen differently in the school once they go through this training?
So, really, our hope is that they aren't seen any differently. The Guardian is known by the administration and a few key people within the district and the school, and by law enforcement. But as a whole, we try to keep their identity secret, so no one knows who they are. And what they're able to do at this point is they'll carry their firearm with them in a concealed manner. That was one other part we talked about in training, is how to carry a concealed weapon. But they're carrying a gun every day in school, ready to act.
So, Sheriff, I know that it's a relatively small population in the Castledale area where the high school is, but overall, Emery County is really big geographically. So, if there was an actual school shooting in the area, how do you make sure your response time is as quick as possible?
So you're right. We have some schools that are quite a ways away. The closest schools that we have to each other are miles away. You know, in Castledale, we have the high school and an elementary school, and they're relatively close. But everything else, we're quite a ways away. And so one of our scenarios is we talked about distractions to the guardians, that their focus would be on the bandit and making sure that they disarm that person, and then they hold the scene until law enforcement gets there. So they've been prepared knowing that they might be waiting, upwards of 10 minutes. And then another thing that the school district has done is they have an app that all the teachers and administrators have within the school that they've allowed our sheriff's office to have as well. So anytime there's an issue, they hit a single button and every one of my deputies get an alarm. And right now, when those things go off, it's just open season. Every deputy, whether they're home or they're at work, they're allowed to head to that school. And most of the time before they get to the school, we realize what's going on and we can cancel units. But we had an alarm go off yesterday, and it was just for a medical reason. But we were able to get deputies there quickly. And then also we require our deputies to spend time in each school, just at bare minimum, just to walk through. All the deputies know the times of recess and times of lunch, so we ask them to stay close to schools as well during that time if possible, just because it's such a priority and such a thing that we deal with nowadays, that we just got to do our best to be ready for it if it happens.
Thank you so much for joining us. That was Emery County Sheriff Tyson Huntington. And when we come back after the break, we're going to be joined by Utah Speaker of the House, Mike Schultz, and I have a Christmas question for him, so stay tuned.
You probably know if you need new windows. You hear the wind whistling. There's condensation between the panes. Maybe your heating bill's too high, but you don't want to pull the trigger because it costs a lot of money. I understand. And they understand at Advanced Window Products. After all, they've been creating custom state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. They know what's up. That's why they offer 60-month 0% financing or buy now, pay later. You get the windows this winter for 30 to 40% less because you're buying straight from the factory. They'll build, they'll install your windows, and you don't have to pay for a year or more. At Advanced, they're committed to making your new windows affordable. And if you call now, they'll knock another $2,500 off your quote. State-of-the-art, energy-saving windows built here for Utah's changing climate. And right now, $2,500 off. Call for a quote, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
It's a special bonus movie show today on Thursday, live from NPS in Layton. We're going to kick things off here in about 45 minutes. But the doors are already open here at NPS in Layton, and nobody does the holidays and really Christmas better than NPS, Chris, because you can get literally everything you need here. If you need stuff for your Christmas party, for food, you've got it at a better price than the grocery store. If you need some gifts, like you haven't found one yet, or you're still looking and you need the perfect gift, but you don't know what it is, NPS is the best place to start, because you're going to find something you didn't know that you always wanted.
Right.
Or if you need stocking stuffers. My wife, I'm giving away a little bit of Christmas. My wife went to NPS yesterday and bought a bunch of stocking stuffers.
Yes, because we have the best deals on that stuff.
You just have the best deals on all that stuff. So, and then today, in celebration of this, Christmas is a week from today.
A week from today.
7
days.
So you got to come to the NPS here in Layton, because they've got donut kebab out front. Santa's going to be here. What time?
From 11 to 2.
11 to 2. Come get a free picture with Santa.
And Mrs. Claus, yes.
And Mrs. Claus. I mean, if you've dropped the kids off at school, moms or dads, come by NPS and get your shopping done while they're in school.
Right.
And you can get the best deals.
Oh, we also have Santa Bucks. For every $50 spent,
okay, tell us about this.
For every $50 spent, you get $10 back on a Santa Buck. And you redeem it the 26th through the 3rd, and it's like cash. You use it in the store and buy all the stuff
So whatever
you
got wrong before Christmas, you can come and correct after Christmas. I love it. Now, those $100 will be good at all 3 of the NPS
Correct,
locations.
yes.
Or all 4, I guess, with including the 2 in Salt Lake. But here in Davis County, if you're driving them down the freeway today, or if you live anywhere near Layton, it's so easy to get here. All you got to do is get off at the Hillfield Road exit, or you can get off at Antelope Drive if you want.
And come back down.
Just come down Main. You can't miss NPS. Big, bright. Come in and check out how gorgeous it looks in here. And you guys keep tweaking the design so it gets better every time I come back, Chris.
That's what we want to keep you on your feet and make sure there's always a treasure or a surprise.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Come treasure hunt for Christmas, or come get what you know you need, because NPS has it and at a better price. They do everything 30 to 70% off the retail price. And then for many, many items, they throw another discount on top of that.
We always have an additional on something.
I got my father-in-law a Christmas present. I can't say what it is because I think he's listening. But I found the perfect gift for him here at NPS.
It's awesome. I love that. Those hard to shop for people are where you're going to find their gift is here.
Love it. All right, they've got 4 locations, 1150 North Main in Layton. In Utah County, you can shop at NPS at 475 North State Street in Orem. And in Salt Lake City, 2 big locations right next to each other at 1600 South Empire Road.
At Intermountain Health, we believe life is a circle. May yours surround you with insight, a healthy perspective, trust, and reassurance. The belief that our differences aren't that different, and compassion just when you need it most. Life is a circle. May yours help you live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Health.
This holiday season, step back in time to an era of true elegance. Titanic. The exhibition is now open at the Shops at Southtown in Sandy. Walk the grand staircase. See the artifacts. Feel the stories. It's the perfect outing for the family or a thoughtful gift for someone special. Now open through April 2026. Purchase tickets and ticket gift vouchers today at titanicexhibition.com. Titanic, the exhibition. Don't miss the boat.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Inside Sources.
We're winding up the year, and to me, that always means not only do we have Christmas and New Year's, but it really means that the Utah legislative session is just right around the corner. So, I know I'm a political nerd. But we just finished this really interesting discussion about the preparation and training that Emory County is doing down in Castledale. And we have with us on the line House Speaker Mike Schultz, and I thought I would just ask him this question. Hi, Speaker Schultz.
Hi, Holly, Greg, how are you?
Good. My question is really from kind of a high-level perspective. How do you feel generally as the Speaker of the House that this legislation is going? And do you feel like the schools in our state, especially maybe in rural areas, do they have the resources that they need to make sure these guardians are trained and there?
Yeah, really good question. I think it's a little bit too early to see how well this program is going to work or not work. I think it's a great program. I think it's going to work really well. The thought behind it is, we have a lot of schools and a lot of school districts that can't afford to have police officers at every school. And so having police officers, I think it's the Sheriff's Association and the sheriffs in those counties that are charged with identifying guardians and helping train guardians for a crisis moment or for a crisis situation, I think is a really good program, and I think it's going to prove to be really beneficial, especially in some of the rural school districts. But I think it'll help in school districts along the Wasatch Front as well.
Speaker Schultz, just a week or two ago, you were all meeting in special session. I think that's what it's called. And you got a lot accomplished in a very short period of time. How did you feel like that went overall?
And I think it went really, really well overall. I think, the legislature came in, we had some concerns for the citizens and representation. And I think we found a pathway forward to allow that to happen, to find a pathway forward to allow the redistricting situation to get before the Supreme Court and have the Supreme Court make a decision on this. And so I think it went really well.
Can I ask you a follow-up question on the Supreme Court before we pivot?
Yeah.
It feels I'm not seeing that they've taken it up yet. Is that true?
Yeah, they have not taken it up yet, and it's because Judge Gibson is not moving as fast as what we would like. So, it could have been probably moved through the process into last week, first of this week. But we're hopeful that it happens before Christmas, and then we're able to get it to the Supreme Court right before Christmas is our goal next week.
Does that mean you're still waiting for a final order from the trial court?
Yes, we're still waiting for that.
Oh, so you can't appeal until you have that. I didn't realize that.
Until we have that. Yep. So that's what we're waiting for. And again, there is some frustration there on our part because we feel like it could have been done already. But hey, it is what it is, and we'll just continue to work through it and work to get it in front of the Supreme Court as soon as possible.
All right, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask you, we're getting to the end of the year, and it's where, people typically look back and say, well, how did the year go? So I want to ask you, what do you count as your top accomplishments? This can be personal, but it can also be legislative for 2025.
Well, I think that's a really great question, and it's personal, but it also speaks to the legislature, too, and overall. And I think, you have to ask the question when you're a state leader, what are you doing for the next generation, for our kids and our grandkids? They are the number one asset in the state of Utah. And so last year, we really put a lot of focus around education, whether it's high school education and expanding career technical education inside of the state, inside of the high schools, where we're giving kids more opportunity to learn about industry, bringing industry actually into the high schools, creating programs to where, kids aren't just learning academics, but they have the opportunity to learn a skill or leadership skills or durable skills actually in the high school before they move on to the job workforce or to higher education. And so we had a huge success there with following Davis School District's model, the Catalyst Campus Center, and expanding CTE and that's career technical education in all across the state. I think that was a big win, as well as higher education reforms. Higher education reforms has been one of the top priorities for me in becoming speaker. One of the things that we worked on really last year was being more accountable with taxpayer dollars for higher education. And let me couple quick examples of the successes that we had with that. University of Utah cut 81 programs that had one graduate per year or less. Think about the cost savings that came with that. And the universities reallocated that. A lot of the universities used it to lower the cost for associate's degrees. For example, Weber State University did not raise tuition for associate's degrees. They also, found ways to reduce costs for bachelor degrees as well. And we had all universities from all across the state, every university come together and find ways to do that. We know student debt is becoming a bigger and bigger issue that we really want to focus on and work with our universities. And I have to say, our universities really stepped up to the table and partnered with us to deliver real outcomes for Utahns to help reduce the overall cost of higher education and the importance of it moving forward. So we're really grateful for that. Those are, I think, a couple of the biggest wins.
Mike, as you prepare for the budget part of the session, what can you tell our listeners about the state of the state as it relates to finances right now?
That's a really good question, Greg. So, Utah has been recognized as the number one best managed state, one of the best fiscally managed states. So many other great accolades that Utah has received from all across the country, and we're very proud of that. And part of that is because we really do pay attention to making sure government is efficient here in the state of Utah, and that will be another top priority moving forward. As we see local governments raise property taxes, school districts raise property taxes, we're going to take a different approach at the state of Utah this year. We're going to be looking, how can we slim down government? How can we become more efficient? We've cut taxes the last 5 years in a row. Even though it's a tough budget year, we want to be able to try to do that again this year and make it 6 years in a row. And we think there's a way to do that. And so we'll look to come together. And I think it's important because we recognize that affordability is becoming one of the top issues for Utahns. It's harder to make a paycheck stretch throughout the month today than it was 3 years ago. And so we recognize that. We're doing all we can to bring affordability down, whether it's gas prices, to housing prices, or whatever it is. We're focused on making government more efficient and making it more affordable for Utahns.
All right, one final question. What's one of your favorite Christmas traditions?
Well, Holly, great question. So my parents, I had really, really good parents that taught me a lot. And one of the things that I love most that my parents taught me is during this time, there's always families that are in need all across the state, and to find ways to give back. That's something that we did from a very young age. I remember stories of, I remember opportunities that my parents, we got to go buy Christmas presents for families that were struggling, and so we'll do the same thing with our family. And it's the season of giving, and that's one of the things that I love most about Christmas.
Thank you very much. That was House Speaker Mike Schultz. And Utah is one of the best-run states in large part because of what our legislature does. I've been critical of them at times, but they certainly have produced a very good outcome for the people of our state. When we come back next, we have a win-win story to share. 6 Utahns with autism are proving that precision and focus can open doors to high-paying careers. We'll tell you about a groundbreaking program that's changing lives and the manufacturing industry next.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, Salt Lake City police have arrested a man suspected of being involved in a sugar house murder. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Officers took 36-year-old Nathaniel Stockton into custody after some surveillance footage captured his car in the area of 2100 South Lincoln Street around Steve Callis's RV. Police say Callis was discovered dead at his RV on Sunday. Family members telling KSL there were bullet holes all over it. Investigators say guns consistent with those bullets found on scene also match the guns found on Stockton's person. A Molotov cocktail was also found shattered on the street just outside of the driver's side of the RV. Stockton was booked on suspicion of 14 charges, including aggravated murder and attempted arson. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Utah's population is still on the rise, but experts say people having babies are now having a bigger impact on that than in migration. Utah's Population Committee and the Kem C. Gardner Policy Institute say that's the first time that's happened in a decade. The report shows Utah added just over 44,000 new residents from July of last year to July of this year. We now have about 3.55 million people living in Utah. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Authorities say a business jet crashed this morning while trying to land at a regional airport in North Carolina, causing a large fire. It's expected that all on board died, but the number of people on board has not been released. Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 29 points at this hour. We're at 47,916. Coming up, warm weather continues this week. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32. A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Well, the movie show's live from NPS today. Today's a special bonus movie show because Christmas is 1 week away, and we needed 2 movie shows to cover the most giantest movie of the year, 3 hours and 15 minutes. But we'll talk about that on the movie show. Right now, we got to talk about the awesome deals you're going to get at NPS here in Layton, in Salt Lake, and down in Provo. But let's start here in Layton. Since that's where we're broadcasting from, we'd love for you to come say hi to us today at 1150 North Main Street. But, Chris, what are the deals people are going to get today?
Well, starting off, we have Santa Bucks. So for every $50,
yeah, let's talk about that.
For every $50 you spend, you get this bonus $10. So the more you spend, the more
you earn.
The more you
now
earn.
That you can't spend those Santa Bucks until
the 26th through the 3rd.
Right.
So January 3rd.
But they're basically giving you $10 cash for
Yeah,
every $50 spent.
So you're really only spending $40.
You really are. And you're going to get so much stuff. This is the fun part of the Santa Bucks deal, is you're going to come in and you're going to be like, oh, this, and you get this, and you get this, and you're going to be so excited. You're like, I probably got like hundreds of Santa Bucks. And then you get all this stuff, and you're like, oh, it's only like $60.
You're like, I still need to spend.
I still need to spend more.
It's always like $3 or $4 that people are like, I need to spend more.
But you know what, though? There's something that while you were shopping, you were like, well, I won't get this one. And then you'll see that you got to get something, and you'll run back and get it. It really is fun. This is one of the funnest times to shop at NPS is right now.
It is, because we have all the fun deals going on we have $50. Every $50 spent today, you have a free donut kebab.
That's it. So you'll get $10 in Santa Bucks.
Yes.
And you'll get a free donut kebab here at the Layton location. Plus, Santa's going to be here today from 11 to 2.
11 to 2.
Free pictures with Santa. Nobody throws a party like Julie.
They don't. She just knows how to get down.
Well, it's a nice place to save, too, because you're going to get discounts on top of their 30 to 70% off. You're going to see the original price on the tag. You're going to see the NPS price. And then you're going to look at the sign and say, oh, I need to cut that price down by even this much more. Right now, clothing and clothing accessories, 60% off. You look at a price, and you chop 60% off it right there.
Yes.
That's how I got my father-in-law's Christmas gift today. Come get Christmas gifts. Come get stocking stuffers. Come get stuff for your holiday party. 4 locations, 2 in Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road, Orem at 475 North State, and here in Layton, come say hi to us on the movie show, 1150 North Main.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Breaking news on KSL News Radio. Tooele City Police are responding to an incident, and the nearby schools have been made aware. This is happening in the area of 200 West. Let's see, that can't be 200 West, 200 East. I'll have to check that address. Police currently have a suspect in custody. No word yet on the nature of the incident, but we will continue to keep you updated when more information becomes available. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And Amanda, they have this accident mostly cleared out now, southbound I-15 at 86 South. Looks like there's still 2 emergency vehicles and another vehicle on scene there. I guess they're going to need another tow truck for that. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, southbound, most of the delays have cleared out at this point, which is nice. Northbound I-15, no real problems at all. You're going to be running smooth from Payson all the way up to Ogden. It's going to be looking good at this point. Belt route is also looking good up into the canyons. No delays there, and any of your major feeders over to I-15 also moving smoothly at this time. The Good Feet store, supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Let me correct that address where this Tooele City incident is happening. It's happening in the area of 320 West, 200 South. We'll continue to gather more information and share it with you on KSL. Let's get a look at the forecast today. We'll get up to about 49 degrees, partly cloudy skies, a slight chance of rain, a better chance of rain tomorrow, and we pop back up to 58 degrees for a high. Right now, it's 39 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
This is a really interesting and uplifting story, Holly, but in Utah, 6 adults with autism have just completed an intensive machining training program through what they call the Uniquely Abled Machinist Program. And machinists in Utah, skilled machinists in Utah, in this day and age, Holly, can make a tremendous amount of money because it's an art. I mean, it's something that really requires a lot of training and a lot of skill.
Yeah.
And there are not a lot of people that are trained in that area.
Well, I really, really love this story. So we have with us on the line Amy Wadsworth, Director of Next Work Autism Academy with the Columbus Community Center. Thanks for joining us, Amy.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if you can tell us about this program and with your 6 people who have just gone through it.
So we actually got a Talent Ready Utah grant. It's a return to work grant. And the program is a collaboration with Columbus Community Center, the Uniquely Abled program, which was started in California, and they do these kind of programs all over the country. They have 30 of these programs and have had 320 graduates and have an 85% placement rate. So really impressive program. And then we also partnered with the Utah Machinist, UMA Association. And then we also partnered with Salt Lake Community College. And then we have 5 employers that we're working with. And these employers were brought to us by the UMA. And they are set to hire our graduates. And this is just our first cohort. We're going to have 3 more cohorts this year.
Amy, tell us about the population that is being served by this, the 6 individuals, and that as it relates to this particular program, Machinist. I mean, because it seems like after reading about it, it was the perfect fit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So these individuals, they are all autistic, and they have a really good attention to detail. They are very driven. Once they find something that they like, they will stick with it, right? And these particular clients, we've got they've got a lot of strengths, and they just have needed an opportunity. And so it's a perfect alignment for that attention for detail.
I really do think that's great. Are there workplace adjustments or best practices that are needed now with the companies that are going to hire these neurodiverse machinists?
Well, I do have some training for them that really it's mostly a different approach to social skills and a different understanding of what your employees may need, and some minor adjustments as managers, like communicating in written and spoken form, because you never know what way is going to be best for them. And really the accommodations that you would make for an autistic adult are beneficial for everyone. So it's like, maybe having an option to have earbuds during the job and at certain times when it's going to be safe. And, maybe some control over lighting or more frequent breaks or a more flexible schedule. Those are the kind of things that would make everybody happy.
What can you tell us about the actual training that these individuals went through? From what you've told us, the resources that you had with the community college, Columbus Community Center, and others, you had tremendous. Even the Machinists Union, you had a lot of people backing you up here. But what was the training like?
So it was actually a combination of soft skills and hard skills. So they took a class at Salt Lake Community College, and it prepares them for entry level as a machinist or a machine operator. And in addition to that, they had some training with us where we worked on soft skills. And that covers everything from communication, how to talk to your boss, how to self-advocate, to self-management. So how to manage the stresses of a job, how to, be able to manage your emotions if you start to get overwhelmed, and how to ask for help if you need to.
So I know tomorrow is a big day. It's graduation day. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
So what do our listeners need to know about graduation and the job fair tomorrow?
So the job fair is with our employment partners, and so they will each have an office that they'll be set up in, and our graduates will rotate, and they'll each have an interview with each of our partners. And so it's a little bit more formal than a typical job fair. And then following the job fair, we'll have a typical graduation ceremony where we'll have some dignitaries speak, and then they will get their certificates, and then we'll have lunch. So it will be a neat event. We're excited.
And given the success of this, Amy, is this something you're going to start? Another class is going to start soon?
Yes, we have another cohort that's lined up to start in January, and those candidates have already been selected. We do have a wait list for this program. It's been very popular. Lots of people have expressed interest in it. So, yeah, we're excited to do another cohort in January. We have another one scheduled in May and another one the following October.
Thank you so much for joining us, Amy. That was Amy Wadsworth, Director of Next Work Autism Academy with the Columbus Community Center, and talking about this program where they've matched adults with autism into machine training, and it's just really great.
And I hope so much that this works. I mean, they've got this first class coming out, and it seems like even the employers are on board.
Yeah.
The training is there. They've got everything they need. And then another class comes in January, another one comes in March, and another one in October. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it, boy, I'll tell you, it's such a unique skill, and it's such a valuable skill. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah, I love it. Look, today it's a special day. Today, it's not Saturday, a special day. It's a special day. We get a bonus movie show today. We're going to check in with Andy and Rachel next, and during the break, I want you to think about this. What's your favorite non-holiday movie that you watched in theaters around Christmas? We're going to talk about that when we come back after this break.
KSL offers the best daily newsletter in the state. It's the 3 things you need to know. Every weekday, we deliver quality and relevant content to your inbox. No ads, no spam, just the 3 things you need to know to be informed about the world around you. Subscribe today. Visit KSLNewsRadio.com or text the word inbox to 57500. That's inbox to 57500.
The movie show live from NPS in Layton this morning. We've got a bonus movie show. It's Thursday. It's not Friday. Don't freak out, everybody that's hearing the movie show on a Thursday instead of a Friday. But it's a week away from Christmas, and we are so excited to be here because all kinds of fun stuff going on here at the Layton location. Deals will be at all the NPS locations. But if you're in Davis County, you got to stop by here today. Chris, tell us why.
Because we have, for every $50 you spend, free donut kebab. We also have Santa here from 11 to 2 with Mrs. Claus, so come get your pictures taken.
For free?
For free.
Because NPS doesn't make you pay for stuff that other people make you pay for.
Right.
That's what it is. And they don't even make you pay that much for the stuff that they've got on their shelves. In fact, here's the perfect neighbor gift right here. Or just enjoy yourself. Also, if you need stuff for stockings, NPS has all this stuff. I'm looking at a box of name brand navel oranges. A 10-pound box for how much?
$6.49.
$6.49 for a 10-pound box of navel oranges.
And they even have Santa on it.
And there's even Santa on the box. You cannot go wrong. I found a gift for my father-in-law this morning. I didn't know what all I knew coming in was that we needed to find a gift for him, and I actually wasn't even looking for him. But as I was going through, I'm like, that's it. And I grabbed it. And that's the fun. Today is the really fun day to treasure hunt.
It is, because we have all these amazing deals going on. We also have 60% off of our apparel right now. So all clothing and clothing accessories is 60% off.
Yeah, so you're going to see the tag, and it's going to show you the original price. Then you can see the NPS price. And then you have to do a little bit of math. And that is chop 60% off the price you're looking at. This is the math that's fun to do.
And then for every $50 you spend, you get that $10 Santa Bucks on top of those donut kebabs.
Yeah, so the donut kebab's only good here in Layton, but the Santa Bucks are good at all the NPS locations.
Correct.
So, yes, today is the day. A week from Christmas, come take care of the things that you haven't got. Come find some things you didn't think you'd find and enjoy it. NPS, 4 locations in Orem at 475 North State. In Layton, where we are, say hi to us on the movie show today, 1150 North Main in Layton, and in Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
You know what those jingle bells means. Winter is here. Even though it's balmy during the day, it's really quite cold at night. And many kids here in Utah don't have the warm coats and the shoes they need to get through the coming cold months. So KSL's Quarters for Christmas has been helping local children for years. And they turn your donations into warm coats and shoes for the kids right here in our own community.
And every dollar you give goes directly toward providing coats and shoes for kids who need them most. It's easy to make a difference. Just go online to kslquarters.com, donate whatever you can, and know that you're helping keep a child warm this winter. Join us in spreading a little comfort and a lot of kindness with KSL's Quarters for Christmas.
Mr. Max, suiting for every important chapter of your life. Weddings, proms, new job, any celebration, mission callings, and more. Mr. Max there to suit your needs with 9 locations or MrMac.com.
The new Inside Sources.
And, you know, we always end our show with the fun facts of the day, and I think we have an especially fun fact today, and that is Holly Richardson's birthday is today. That's a fun fact.
I was a Christmas baby born 61 years ago, so I am not afraid to tell you how old I am. In fact, when I was 40, I thought 60 was a little older, but then we started raising a granddaughter when I was 50, and I was like, she keeps me young. So yeah, I'm 61, and I wrote a piece last year when I turned 60 called 60's the New 40. I totally believe it. I'm in better health, and I have this great new job. Yeah, I'm like, I spent so much of my I guess middle adulthood raising kids. I didn't start this career till 6 months ago.
Yeah, well, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Look, I do have some fun facts of the day. So today is Bake Cookies Day, which I actually am going to do with that 11-year-old granddaughter. And it was on this day in 1865 that the 13th Amendment was passed, abolishing slavery in America. It was also on this day in 1892 that Tchaikovsky's ballet, The Nutcracker, we've been talking about that all week, it premiered in St. Petersburg, Russia on this day in 1892. It is now the world's most performed ballet. Also on this day in 1966, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas aired for the first time on CBS. So that would have been, basically they read the book and there was some really simple animation that went with it, if you remember that. And then on this day, you'll love this one, in 1971, Capitol Reef National Park was established.
I mean, those are some significant dates.
Yeah,
I mean,
December 18th is a great day.
Amendment, the Nutcracker, the Grinch, Capitol Reef. I mean, wow, this is and your birthday.
Yeah.
December 18th.
I'll add this one too. In 2019, President Donald Trump was impeached for the first time on December 18th.
Well, the hits just keep on coming.
Okay. All right. It's not Friday, but it feels like Friday because we're talking to the KSL Movie Show. What big movie are we talking about today, guys?
So, things are getting bigger this time of year.
I know.
And so let's tell you about maybe the longest blockbuster that we're going to see this year because it's 3 hours and 15 minutes long. That is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Do we have some sound? Okay, just checking. All right, so James Cameron, of course, has written and directed and done all the visuals and probably done everything himself as much as possible, even though other people are going to be credited on there. I'm pretty sure
it's his
that,
baby, for
I was going to
sure.
say, I'm not sure there's anybody who has their hand in more every single part of their movie than James Cameron does. But this is an epic. It's been 3 years since we had Avatar: The Way of Water. And in the 3 years, we get another epic story. The visuals are just unbelievable. I mean, that you can look at a 3D movie and you forget you're watching a 3D movie. He basically is the one who has saved 3D.
Yeah, to say it's immersive is an understatement.
Yeah. And this time you're not just underwater, you're not just in the trees. This time you're up in the sky a lot. And the basic story, without giving away too much, is the movie picks up immediately after the events of Avatar: The Way of Water. In fact, the big fighter ship is still just barely under the water, and everybody's dealing with the aftermath. But now they decide they got to move, and there's these fiery pirates. They're like Na'vi sky pirates.
Yeah.
And they got to deal with them. And I don't want to give away the story, but
a lot of it is centered around Spider.
Oh, yeah.
The human kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this a movie you've seen, Holly?
I haven't seen this one, but I do have. I think I've told you I have a daughter that is like a fan. In fact, she went to the movie premiere 3 years ago of what was it? The Way of Water.
Yeah.
And she won so many trivia prizes that they had to tell her, okay, not you.
That sounds like me with Star Wars. I love that.
She
loved it.
just loved it so much. Oh yeah, like she has her ticket. She's ready. I said, "Do you have people going with you?" And she's like, "Nope, I'm going by myself. I'm sitting by myself, and I'm gonna just sit there and soak it in." And I'm like, "Okay." She loves Avatar so much. She has Avatar Legos, and by the way, she's almost 26, but she really loves these movies.
So Rachel, let me ask you a question. Is this a movie for younger audience? Because I'm thinking 3 hours and 15 minutes. That requires an attention span.
I would say it's not made for younger audiences, but I guess it just depends on the kid.
I mean, it is rated PG-13. There is a movie that is way more made for younger audiences this week, and that's David, and we'll talk about that on the movie show.
SpongeBob.
And then there's SpongeBob, too, yes.
I might pass
that
on
one actually
SpongeBob.
might be a favorite for your daughter who's 26 also.
I don't think so. I never really liked SpongeBob.
Actually, David, I think it might be a little slow for little kids, under 10. I think it's a little slow.
Is David
I don't
the
think little
David
kids
of
think
David
that's
and Goliath?
Yes, it is an animated telling of the biblical story of David, and it kind of goes up. It goes all the way up to
the whole
end of King Saul. It doesn't go through the whole entire David story, but
it's through all of 1 Samuel basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that was done by the people who did The Chosen, or am I misremembering?
So they don't do The Chosen anymore, but they originally
It's Angel
did The Chosen.
Studios.
Oh. Okay, awesome.
But this was crowdfunded. I mean, this is one that's been in the works for several years, but it was really well done. But so yeah, between those two movies, there's something that the entire family can watch. But David's a lot shorter than Avatar.
Yes, and it's very good in my opinion.
Avatar is worth going to see in IMAX 3D, though. I know this is one of the few times where I would say it's worth paying the premium price for those tickets.
I agree.
All right, we need to cut you off
That's
here
funny.
because we're having a number of guests walk into our studio here, and I think we're about to have a song here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Holly.
Oh, I love you guys.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. You are so kind. Thank you.
Somebody had a nice voice in that group.
I
don't
know,
who
so
it
much better
was.
than my family.
That was great.
Thank you, everyone. That really is. It's really great. Thank you. Now let's talk about the maybe so question, and I'll tell you the one that we answered. So hopefully it's the right one, and that was the best non-holiday movie that we watched in theaters around Christmas time. So Greg has an answer.
Mine's pretty easy. I'll give it away pretty quickly here. mean, I can't help but watch the Godfather series every year, and I know it's kind of.
You watch it around Christmas, though?
I always do. I always watch the two. I don't know.
Well, it's the only time you have enough time off from work to get through as many hours
That's
as it
true.
takes.
You got just 1 and 2, but I love them both.
So this one I remember watching as a teenager and waiting in long lines to go see it right around Christmas time. Here's the funny part about that. So this was Star Wars released in 1977, but I was living in France at the time. My dad was teaching at the French Air Force Academy, and I saw it in French. So I remember it's like it wasn't "May the Force be with you." It was "Que la force soit avec toi." So
you didn't even get the subtitles. You got the full dub.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, the full dub. So I spoke French. There were no... This was 1977, guys. I didn't see movies dubbed. And I actually went to French school. So I spent 3 years speaking French and going to French school. So it was fun.
Well, that's a cool one to
That's
have
very
for the first
good,
time.
yeah.
The Superman the movie came out at Christmas time in 1978. I don't know if people realize that. I don't remember seeing it in theaters because I was only 3. But...
You're just a baby.
I can tell you the one that non-Christmas, not even close to Christmas, but I saw twice in December, Dumb and Dumber 1994. I loved it so much.
Oh, my God. Andy, you're scaring me.
Rachel, what about you?
Well,
we got like 20 seconds.
One of my all-time favorite movies is the movie Juno.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie so much, and that came out.
That was a Christmas time release.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be the fun one. And we'll talk about Rob Reiner as well on the movie show.
And we have a special edition of the movie show today because it's Thursday. So
Yeah.
does that mean we have you 2 days this week?
You have us 2 days this week.
Well, we'll be looking forward to the movie show. Stay tuned and stay with us because the movie show does start right after this. And we're going to have a special edition of the movie show both Thursday and Friday this week. Happy birthday, Holly.
Thank you.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Heather Peterson. KSL's top story this hour. An update on the situation in Tooele. People say someone may have fired some shots in the area of 320 West, 200 South. Tactical response teams responded to the situation, and there's now a suspect in custody. We'll continue to keep you updated on when more information becomes available. The last of Utah's bears have retired to their dens this week, several weeks later than usual. Utah's Division of Wildlife Resources, Faith Jolly, says usually bears start hibernation at the end of October, but they have GPS collars on about 30 bears around the state and noticed several foraging up until this week.